Hey, I welcome you to this introductory lecture of Revenue Cloud. Okay, and this is the first lecture. Under this lecture, we are going to discuss about what is Revenue Cloud. Okay, we'll start with a quick recap of previous histories, like from where the need of Revenue Cloud comes into the picture. Before Revenue Cloud, what are different products that Salesforce were using, and why industry is now shifting towards Revenue Cloud. Okay, so these are the main agenda of this specific lecture. So let's start. First of all, let's discuss about the product name. So product name is called Revenue Cloud Advanced. In some places, you will also see RCA Revenue Cloud or Agentforce Revenue Cloud. All those multiple names are referred to the same product. Okay, so don't be confused if you see these terminologies. Now let's start. So in this specific slide, I try to picture the old scenarios. Remember the days where people are totally relying on Sales Cloud. Okay, so it start with lead and then opportunity, and then once the opportunity is closed, they will simply convert that into different products, and they start selling these products to their customers. At this era, the development stage or the requirement was very simple. To understand this better, let's take a scenario. Let's say you are dealing with B2B industry and your company is manufacturer of mobile screens. Okay, you get a lead where the customer is looking for, let's say, 1,000 mobile screens. So if this is the scenario, Sales Cloud is best because here the product is hardware product. There is no advanced configuration that is required. Sales Cloud can easily handle it. Things started getting complex for Sales Cloud when the product category basically get improved. For example, now we wanted to configure a software related product as well, which is having a subscription based model. Again, if I talk about B2B business, let's take a scenario. Now your company is also providing the warranty of those screens. One screen has 1 year warranty, and people or company can extend this as well. So this is kind of a subscription based products, right? So these things started making Sales Cloud little harder to handle. Now to fix this issue, the couple of good people comes into the picture. They works for Steelbrick. So Steelbrick analyzed the industry problems and they build a solution called CPQ. This is nothing but a managed package. I'll come to this managed package, what it is. But let's first understand what is the CPQ. CPQ stands for configure, price, and quote. This product provide us a feature where we can go and define any type of product. If we have hardware product or we have a software product, or even if we have a combination of both, we can easily go and configure that, right? Apart from product configuration, we have a layer for pricings also. We can set the pricings for each and every customer's different pricings. For example, let's say there is a customer who's ordering you, let's say, 1,000 screens. So you will quote them differently, right? And there is a customer who's ordering 1,000 screens, right? So you will quote them differently. Why? Because the quantity is different. Apart from quantity, there are different stages of discounts that we can provide. Right. For example, there is a customer who's a pro customer who has a goodwill. You probably provide them a good discounts compared to the others. So all those kind of pricings and discounts can be easily handled in your CPQ. So the concept was simple. You will go create and configure the product. You will go define the pricings, define the discounts, and finally you just send a code to the customer. Once the code is approved, you'll simply generate the contract. The CPQ was mainly up to this stage where you have all those configuration and contract is generated. Now, this is very good, like I said, and it is actually a sales advantage. So it is a sales plus CPQ, right? So this CPQ originally created to improve the sales. This is the major drawback as well. Why? Because after this stage, what are different things are going on, it has a very limited visibility. For example, let's say you have converted this, the contract is finalized with this particular amount, but your different billing systems are there. See, Salesforce needs to know if the billing is done. The ERP, it needs to know if the orchestration properly done. Order management, all those things are not well connected with your Salesforce. That was the major disadvantage of CPQ. There are other disadvantages as well. Let's discuss that as well. So think it as a customer nowadays. Now, we as a customer want everything in next day or probably in the next minute, right? To support this behavior, our B2A also needs to be improved. But this is not the case in CPQ. For example, let's say your shipment is about to leave, and at the time your customer is saying, hey, I don't want this number. I need 20,000 screens. So this increase from 1,000 to 2,000 is not easy in CPQ. Why? we have a concept called amendments in CPQ, where if any changes you need to make in your existing contract, you need to amend it. And when you amend it, there is a separate process got initiated. You have to again go and configure, you again need to do the pricing, you again need to generate the code, you need to send it to the approval. And once everything is generated, then only you can proceed. So this process take its own time. And believe me, there is no direct hack which you can directly change it to 2K and you can go ahead. So this process in CPQ was the main problem. Here, process governs the business, not business governs the process. That is the problem of CPQ. And that is just not the one. There are many more, believe me. And why this is so? Because Steelbrick create a package which installed over Salesforce. That package was not the part of inbuilt Salesforce features. This is built on top of it. So it's kind of a generic solution which CPQ is offering to multiple different customers. And there are very limited options where you can do the customization on it, right? Because it is a generic solution, everyone needs to utilize the same solution, right? So that is the major drawback which CPQ is having. But CPQ has its own legacy. Believe me, most of the companies are still on CPQ. They are in a phase to migrate from CPQ to Revenue Cloud. Okay. Now, CPQ is very good, right? But it has its own issues. And all those main issues I have highlighted under this particular slide. So the first issue is started in the subscription configurations. So modern subscription-based products are really complex. For example, let's say you have subscribed for 2 GB data per day, right? In your mobile subscription, you have 2 GB data per day, but you sometimes need add-ons as well, right? So this type of subscription where you have a subscription-based product plus combination of one-time product as well. So this was really hard to configure in your CPQ. The other thing is users-based product. Imagine that you have 2 GB subscription, but you have utilized 2.5 GB. So how your system will behave? Are you going to charge for this 0.5 GB to the customer, or you are adding it to the final bill, or this is free consumption? So how, based on the users, how you are going to charge your customer? This was not possible in your CPQ. Similarly, there are prorated upgrades, like for example, apart from 2.5 GB, for some customers they need, let's say at night they want unlimited pack. So all those configurations were not uh, practically designed to handle in CPQ. And since it is managed package, there's no option where you can go and change that particular code, right? So these modern things in short are not possible, and industry was needing a more smarter option to configure, and that feature is actually provided by our Revenue Cloud. Now here in this specific diagram, I try to picture the main problems of CPQ. Here, imagine that this is your hardcore Salesforce where all the Sales Cloud native platform is, but CPQ is added on top of it. That means it is not the actual soul of your Salesforce. It is installed on top of it. When I say top of it, that means that it comes with its own problem. You cannot go and configure this rail completely because the code and the configurations are hidden. You cannot go and change it. That's why the connectivity from different endpoints are actually not that great, right? This problem is solved by Revenue Cloud. Why? Because Revenue Cloud is not like a package which we need to install. This is a part of your Salesforce suite, right? It is integrated inside Salesforce. That means all the objects, all the configuration are available. You can go and check them. It is also provide headless API. Revenue Cloud is a platform which always says API first. If you don't know what is headless, don't worry. We are going to discuss this in upcoming lectures. But as of now, you can consider the integration is buttery smooth. You do not need to, invest your hours to do the customization. They are built to connect to those APIs. Multiple things are already provided in this particular RCA. But there are things, for example, billings, tax engines, though these information needs to come from downstream systems, right? You can go and easily configure those APIs. Now let's move to the next one. So under this specific slide, we are going to check how your Revenue Cloud is different or how smartly it is actually handling the scenarios. It starts with lead generation. So you have your lead engine, which will give you the leads, same as Sales Cloud and CPQ, you will get the leads. You will extract the opportunities, and once the things are close on, you will generate the codes, right? So here there's no change. But after the code generation, you will get a contract. Once you activate your contract, you will get orders. So after order, everything is changed now. So in the order, you have multiple order line items, which is nothing but your contract line, which your users basically purchased. Based on the nature of the order line items, multiple invoices will be created. Now, this is very high level. That's okay if you're not getting it. We have a different sections where we will discuss in detail, right? But as of now, you can consider once the order is activated, multiple invoices are generated. Here, Revenue Cloud is very smart. It will generate the invoices based on the order line items, right? So after the invoice generation in Revenue Cloud itself, you can see if the invoices are paid or not yet paid. Okay. There will be multiple different systems, billing systems, which will get interacted where your Revenue Cloud is smartly tracking if the invoice is getting paid. In between this stage, you have multiple configuration where you can configure the payment gateways where your customers can do the payments. All that is handled inside one product, which is called Revenue Cloud, right? That is why it is called Revenue Cloud, because starting from lead to generating the revenue, everything is in one system, right? After revenue, you have renewals control. For example, if it is a subscription based product and after certain frequency, it needs to be renewed. So it will start again from this stage where your code will be generated, your contract will be generated, your order will be generated, invoice will be sent, people will pay, the revenue receipts will be generated, and it will wait for the next renewal. So each and every stages are actually monitored under one screens. And obviously there will be multiple different systems are involved, multiple backend APIs will be intact, but those all are intact smoothly with the help of headless APIs. Okay, now I think you get a basic idea what Revenue Cloud does, right? Now let's move to the next. Now, Revenue Cloud is also, improving day by day. For example, in Sprint 25, they have integrated Agentforce. Now, in the previous slide, I told you that Revenue Cloud is the core platform of Salesforce, and that is the advantage because it's a core platform of Salesforce. So all the basic features, for example, Agentforce, Data Cloud, they can be easily integrated with Revenue Cloud. This was completely not possible on CPQ because CPQ is not core platform. It is a separate add-on, right? And Agentforce, Data Cloud, they are very hard to connect with these add-ons, right? So that is the advantage here, which I have listed down. Agentforce is highly connected. Apart from that, Tableau is connected because you can integrate Tableau as well to see the analysis. Similarly, Salesforce Go, contracting, cataloging, pricing, all those things can be easily handled. Okay, we'll see this in upcoming lectures. Now, under this slide, I have specifically mentioned Agentforce because you may probably get some questions in your exam about Agentforce, right? So, Agentforce is actually helping in doing the coding. Okay, you can easily go and generate codes with the help of Agentforce, and those codes will be connected with your Revenue Cloud. So, it will be very smarter move if you provide Agentforce access to your sales tab, which can just generate the coding in couple of commands. Apart from coding, Agentforce can also help in the orchestration process and smart CLM. Okay, so those are the things that I wanted to discuss under this introductory lecture. I have discussed everything in very high level. In upcoming lectures, we are going to deep dive and see the insights of it. So stay tuned. Thank you.